My home state of Texas has been in the news lately. You know the issues. Let me tell you a story that gives a flavor of what I experienced on social matters growing up there. In June 1975, my high school sent me to the Citizenship seminar organized by Civitan International, a service organization. It was at Laterno College, a Christian institute in Longview, Texas, 560 miles away from my boyhood home on the Mexican border. A girl from my class in high school also attended, and as you'll hear, she played a key role in the seminar. Rereading teen journal entries, I was struck by how Civitan intersected with my growing sense of a Jewish identity. Speakers at Civitan forced me to take a stand, literally, like hand in the air. Yes, I am one of those people. Some context will set the tone for Civitan. I saved the seminar's program. Its back page included the Civitan Creed, which included this declaration. My creed was proclaimed by the man of Galilee when he declared, "Whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even to them." So I wasn't heading into a secular humanist educational opportunity. In fact, the program was distilled 100 proof Texas conservative thinking. I wrote about a stormy meeting with Norma Gabler, part of a husband and wife team that successfully pressured publishers of textbooks sold in Texas to alter their subversive anti-American content. I wrote, "The session evolved into a shouting match on whether George Washington had VD. That had to do with the accuracy of textbooks, history books. Then she moved on to a discussion of evolution and creation in science texts. After dinner, we rapped about topics like foreign aid, capital punishment, and prostitution. I spoke about capital punishment twice. A girl named Bunny quoted, "Thou shalt not kill." I later said that that was a mistranslation of Jewish texts. Bunny countered with, "Well, I know you're a Jew." And I felt a little startled at that. I asked her how she knew that, and she said my classmate told her that I was. So word gets around. For real rhetorical wackiness, you couldn't top black conservative Clay Smothers, who later represented Dallas in the Texas House of Representatives. I reported he was very candid about race relations. In fact, he made Texas Monthly's list of the 10 worst Texas legislators in 1977. This was an honor illustrated by his quote, "I am against blacks, Mexicans, women, Indians, and queers talking to me about their rights." Well, Smothers' comments about school busing drew a dissent from a friend I made that week, a fellow teen named Martin from Dallas. I described Martin as definitely liberal. Martin later heard my tense exchange with Bunny, and he asked me if I was Jewish, and I said yes. I wrote, "He said, after what the girl said in the meeting last night, I figured you were." Martin had an obviously Jewish last name, some version of Silver. We actually skipped activities to talk about being Jewish, Israel, and school. Another speaker was Kurt Svanda from Fort Worth. His topic, of all the countries, why America? I wrote that Svanda was alternately a prisoner and a soldier of and in several European armies, as in the German Wehrmacht and the Russian Red Army. He asserted that the Russians were way worse than the Germans. Then he shifted his focus. "Any Hebrews, any Jewish people here?" he asked in his Eastern European accent. The moment of truth. I timidly raised my hand, knowing that with Martin not at this session, I'd be the only Jew present. The seminar director noticed and said, "Hey, there's one back there." I raised my hand all the way up. There was nothing else to do. Svanda asked me if I knew anything about the ghettos. Yes, I said, a little. Well, a year later, I left for college in the Northeast, and I've rarely returned. 47 years later, Texans are still arguing about textbooks and rights and abortion and subversive infiltration in schools and so much more. I wonder if Martin from Dallas remembers our conversations. I had never been able to talk so openly with another Jewish teen about the issues roiling my life. The intensity of our brief connection remains with me. And Bunny, who called me out for being Jewish, well, I still remember her. Thank you. I practice